Governor David Umahi of Ebonyi State responds to Governor Wike of Rivers State and the PDP after his defection to the APC. He speaks about Igbo presidency and the 2023 presidential race. And President Muhammadu Buhari today got the Justice Salami-led committee report on Mr. Ibrahim Mago and his activities as the EFCC acting chairman. Hello everyone and welcome to Politics Today on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye in Lagos. Tonight you will get to hear from Governor David Umahi of Ebonyi State responding to all the issues that have been raised over the past few days on his defection to the APC. So stick around with us everyone. Let's get you through some of these stories. After months of investigation of the embattled acting chairman of the EFCC, Mr. Ibrahim Mago, President Buhari today received the report of the Justice Salami-led committee at the presidential villa. President Buhari says nobody is too big to be probed in the fight against corruption in Nigeria. President Buhari frowned on the fact that an investigation had to be instituted to probe an anti-corruption such as the EFCC, saying it shows how deep-rooted the menace is in the country. Meanwhile, the chairman of the investigative panel, Justice Ayo Salami, said the next head of the anti-corruption agency should come from outside of the police force.
Thank you very much.
And after that meeting, we understand that President Muhammadu Buhari had, well, if you call it a political meeting, a private meeting with the former chairman of the APC, Chief Bisi Akonde, and some other chieftains of the APC from the Southwest region. Former interim national chairman, Chief Akonde, led the delegation to meet with the president. It was gathered at the meeting, which held behind closed doors, was attended by the chief of staff to the president, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, and the Minister of Youth and Sport, Mr. Sunday Dare. Some of the party chieftains present at the meeting are former governor of Ogun State, Chief Segun Oshoba, Prince Tajuddin Olusi, and Dr. Abayami Fini. However, the national leader of the APC, Asiwaju Tinubu, was absent at that meeting. Let's tell you that the federal government has offered the sum of 65 billion naira for earned academic allowances of university lecturers and revitalization of public universities. This forms part of the agreements reached today in the talks between the federal government and the Academic Union of Universities. The news just coming in. The federal government has offered the sum of 65 billion naira for earned academic allowances of university lecturers and revitalization of public universities. This forms part of the agreement reached today in the talks between the federal government and the Academic Union of Universities. It does look like there is some progress being made as regarding the talks between the federal government and the university lecturers. So, after days of reactions and controversies over the defection of the governor of Ebonyi State from the PDP to the APC, the man is responding to all the comments and accusations over his decision. Earlier today, we spoke with the governor of Ebonyi State, Dave Umahi, on his decision, the grievances, and the 2023 presidency. I started by asking him to explain what he meant by entering into blessings by joining the APC. Take a listen to him.
When you asked me, I said I've entered into a blessing, yes. We Southeast people have been in opposition for the past, getting to 6 years. And I think that by our configuration, by our nature, we are not supposed to be in opposition. We are one region that our people are scattered all over the country. We are one region that we build, infrastructure all across the country. And so you can see by nature, we must play with the central government. And I think that for me, this is a blessing that I'm part of the movement of our people, to the central government.
There's been a lot of reactions to your defection. Your party, the PDP, had come out to say they perceive your defection as an act of blackmail. How do you react to that?
The defection did not just happen. It took time. And it took a lot of people letting them know that there is need for justice for Southeast people in PDP. After 23 years, by 2023. They kept telling us, look, 2023 is too far to do zoning. And we reminded them in 2015, zoning for 2019 was done. We needed them to come clear on where the presidential ticket should go until the chairman of the party made a statement that the ticket is for open to everybody. I wasn't insisting that the PDP should give the presidential ticket to South Person because they must win. But, among your peers, if you are not treated equally, I'm not sure you'll be happy. So that's my position. There's no blackmail in it.
But did you make this known to the leadership of the party, especially some elders in the party, particularly the board of trustees, before you made your decision?
Well, I feel that, they spoke to me, the others of the party differently spoke to me. But importantly is that the working committee sent people to come and see me in Bonny State. About 3 of them came to see me. And I also engaged in visual discussion with governors of PDP. And then I met in Abuja here with all the working committee members. And I told them only 2 things, which they are not saying the other one. I said, for me, the working committee has done well. And there is a very thick plot to remove all of them, by the next, National Congress. And I don't feel, right. And some names I was told we're going to take up the party machinery. And names that, are not going to be favorable, for the advancement of the party policies, and the programs. And so I said to them that there should be assurance that these people that came to office with 11 governors, but now parade about 16 governors, should be given the opportunity of a second tenure. And that has been the practice in PDP. And then the second one is that they should come clear with the issue of, the presidential ticket for 2023. And as at then, I was still flying the flag of PDP. They saw it, they heard it, and we were all in PDP. But nobody addressed any of the 2 issues. Rather, they, decided to talk about the issue of blackmail, decided to talk about benefiting from PDP. And so, for me, that is blackmail from them and not from me.
If you look at some of the reactions that have been generated, especially from some of the governors in the PDP, they have alleged that for a long time you are being in bed with the APC, that during the day you are a PDP governor, but at night you are an APC governor, because they believe that you're very close to the APC, the APC leadership and President Buhari. How do you react to that?
It is, lack of character for people to play differently at night and then play differently in the day. That's not my character. I wasn't brought up that way. The only thing they believe I committed is that I didn't join them to cascade the president in the day, only for them to go at night to beg, the president, officials for one favor or the other. I said no, I wasn't brought that way. And by the way, I'm not a politician. I'm a child of God. And I continue to say that, Mr. President, I will never castigate him. He's my boss. He's my father. He's my friend. And I will never do that. And I told my officials, don't do that. I told my National Assembly members, don't do that. And we have kept to that. And I think it's the proper thing to do. If there is anybody that will tackle government at the center, it should be the governors. Because if we get, bashing from people, from other political parties, twisting facts and the darkening counsel without knowledge, I don't think we feel happy as governors. So what you wouldn't want others do unto you, don't do it to others. So that could just be my only thing. I don't play, I don't double talk. And let them tell me which of the governors that has not gotten the same benefits like of PDP, like APC governors. So what's the difference? Have I been treated differently by Mr. President? Is there anything given to me that wasn't given to them? I think that they just misunderstood Mr. President, or they just want to, in the name of politics, want to engage on necessary blackmail.
There are several allegations, of course, trailing your movement, aside the fact that they believe that you are somewhat, your mind has been made up a long time ago, and they knew that you were going to move. In fact, there is an allegation that you promised President Buhari upon you vote, being a PDP governor, that you promised President Buhari vote in 2019. Is that true?
It wasn't a hidden thing, not just in Ebonyi, in the entire Southeast. And other regions do it. For a very long time, we've been putting all our eggs in one basket. And I feel this is very wrong. I advocated for Southeast to give Mr. President 25% of our votes. And I didn't hide it. I tell His Excellency Atiku Abubakar was flying our presidential ticket. I told him. So it wasn't a hidden thing. It was done in the public. And we fought in Ebonyi State, and I'm happy we gave 25.6%. Abia did give. Abia kept to the promise too. Imo, of course, APC. So I have no regret about that.
But would you describe that move as disloyalty, being a PDP member and you're working for the APC?
It's not about parties. It's about the people. It's not just how many percentage of the people, are members of political parties. So it's about the people. It's about what will interest the people. Was it the PDP that was going to fix the international airport that were going to record a lot of debt? No, it wasn't the PDP. It was the central government. And so I needed to do things that would, assist our people. I needed to do things. Our people are, traders. They are commercial people. And that Enugu International Airport, is very important to every Southeasterner. The second Niger Bridge, if Mr. President did not, intervene and then, push funds to that, we have the bridge the way it is and it gets broken, then what will I tell our people that are coming from Lagos and everywhere into Southeast? So it is fine politicians, so that's the way I take it.
It's true then, Governor Umahi, that you're not the only PDP governor that will be leaving the PDP for the APC.
I will speak for myself.
Because from your statement, it does look, you made a mention of another state, which gives some credence to what is being said, that more PDP governors might be joining the APC. Just wanted to know whether that statement is true, since you're talking to us now.
I'm not sure I'm the one that said more PDP governors will be joining. But what I said is that many governors of PDP are not happy with the way the party is built on. Even in PDP Governors Forum, there are caucus there. And it shouldn't be. It has never happened in PDP. I was deputy governor, and I used to attend meetings to represent my boss. It never happened. And I think that the problem of the party starts with some people feeling that they are more of PDP than others. And some people dictating what happens in other states where we have sitting governors. And it shouldn't be. Where the affairs of a fellow governor is discussed in another state. And I think it's wrong.
How sure are you that some of these grievances that you have raised with the PDP are going to be addressed in the APC? Did you get that assurance?
Well, if I'm still, in partisan politics, because I intend to disengage from politics in 2023 at the end of my tenure, if God permits. But if God says I should go ahead, and I stay in APC for 23 years, and there is no time that, South East is given the opportunity to fly their ticket, I will still protest. So it's not an immediate thing. It's a fact that in 2023, PDP would have stayed, South East would have stayed in PDP for 23 years. And it's proper, no matter the argument anybody is putting forward, that they are given the opportunity to fly the ticket of a PDP. And I'm sure that with this protest, they should be able to just do that.
As a party, the question is that the PDP said, they've not even made up their mind on where to zone the presidency in 2023.
In 2015, there was mind made up against 2019. Why shouldn't the same mind be made up in 2020 against 2023? The difference between the two is that the other one is 5 years, and this one is 3 years. So why is the blade broken when it comes to Southeast?
Have you gotten an assurance or a guarantee that the presidency will be zoned to the Southeast in 2023 in the APC?
So when you protest, you don't know what you get from it. I'm not protesting against APC. I'm protesting against PDP. And it is the PDP I expect, by reason of this very peaceful protest, for them to do the zoning. Whatever that comes to Southeast from APC is the will of God.
We'll take a break. And when we return, we continue the conversation with Governor of Umahi State, David Umahi, on whether or not he wants to be Nigeria's president in 2023. Find out after this break, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. Let's get back to the conversation with the Governor of Umahi State, David Umahi. Is not that of the law for the party, is about your protest and the ambition for your zone.
You have choices in life to make. And I've made the choice of APC because of the way they run their things. And respect for Mr. President, by his respect, and equity to all the governors, which have benefited. And I continue to say that in 16 years of PDP, and 5 years to 6 years of APC central government, I have a lot to show, in my state, and this is very important. So it's not, I'm not choosing APC out of protest, but if you have choices to make, this is this, this is this. So when you compare, I can see that the administration, party administration of APC, is far better than that of my former party. But like I said, no one person in APC is dictating the affairs of the party.
Well, you're going into the APC at a time when some chieftains and members of the APC are also not happy with the manner in which things are going. There are allegations against the caretaker committee and the manner and approach in which they're running the party. Is it a tough decision for you?
In a big family, there are always differences, but I'm very excited with the manners and the steps taken by the leadership of APC to address the grievances. There will always be, such, but the most important thing is, the mechanism, available for the party to resolve such differences. It's not just at the center. In all the states, in all the parties, there are squabbles. And there are squabbles because in Nigeria, we are beginning to see politics as the only means of livelihood. And this is, a matter for everybody. It's not just leadership. The leaders are also involved. It's something that we need to discourage.
The PDP said you are alone in your decision to move into the APC, perhaps because of the National Assembly members like Senator Ego and several others who have refused to go with you to the APC.
I won't comment about them. They are my children. I'm their father. I'm waiting for them. They will all come back to where I am. But I'm going to do a rally in Ebonyi State in the next few weeks. And I will give them all the opportunity that can apply to IGT to come and do their own rally so that we see who is on ground and who is in charge. It's not to stay and, make talks. Talk is very cheap. The job is very easy when you are not the one doing it. So it is by testing the ground that you see who is in charge.
I'd like you to react to your friend, Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State. He said a few things about you and your movement to the APC.
Wike is my friend, and it's a man I love so much. I will not join issues with him. He has every reason to be angry with me because I'm about his best friend. And when you live in a relationship, the other one is bound to be hurt. So I should not join issues with him. I still love him. But the fact remains that we shouldn't take it personal. This is politics and this is interest of our people, and we run our destiny. So I've appealed to him to understand it as such. He has every reason to be angry because I'm his friend. I'm still his friend.
Because it appears like a language of betrayal when we spoke with him on this program. What the decision you made as a party member, as a leader of the party, especially on the note that you have not been fairly treated as a region. It disagreed with that notion.
The point is that nobody has been able to address the two grievances, upon which I opted to leave. I didn't just say, if you don't do it today, I'll leave today. So why are they going it round and round? Why have they convocated NET the other day? They didn't talk about these two grievances. And so who is deciding who?
When Governor Wike also mentioned the issue about your performance, and questions are being raised about contractors and the jobs that are being done, a big question on what you've been able to do for the people of Umahi was raised.
If you tell me what they said about that, in my state, the contracts, given to contractors is about 5%. The 95% of contracts are, given to Ebonyians under direct level. I don't think any living human being can take me on performance, because that person cannot go far. The books are ready, and, I can open myself, for proper, scrutiny of the books. And I challenge the governors to also open their own books. Let us set templates on how to evaluate our performances and what we earn. So I think everybody should have respect for himself, not to talk about, performances, because I have a lot to say about that.
So what would you say will be a legacy that David Umahi will be living after 8 years, or, well, you've spent about 5 years in government. What would you say are perhaps the 3 biggest projects or biggest legacies that you have done for the people of Ebonyi State?
I'll be talking about human development legacies, and I'll talk about infrastructure. By the time I bowed with special grace of God, I would have built the best, medical college in this country. This is very important, and it's ongoing, and anybody can see it.
These are some of the statistics that we have. Over 85% of people who reside in Ebonyi State live in the rural heartland. And the latest statistics by the NBS shows that over 52% of the people of Ebonyi are poor. How do you react when you say that social development, you've done a lot in terms of social development, and we still have more than half of your people poor?
Your statistics is very incorrect. You should see the statistics of, there have been 2 statistics that came out, I can't say specifically, and they talk about unemployment. And it's about the thought in terms of employment. And you also see, physical sustainability of states. And you can see that we came within the first 5. And so your statistics is very wrong. But you have to understand where we're coming from. What, it's been there for years cannot be, undone just in 6 years. But the important thing is to see the milestones that we have achieved. And, what are the programs and the agenda we've set. We've just approved the sum of 3 billion, which is, the product of NSAC, for our people. We've created a website, and we've requested them to, of course, we want everybody to get 1 million, but we want to see what they want to do with the 1 million. We've brought in consultants who will guide them and prepare bankable, feasibility studies, because we want the banks to also supervise what we're doing. So we are tackling poverty.
The statistics that you're challenging is that of the National Bureau of Statistics. This is a statutory body that is allowed to do such. In fact, the NBS came in the middle of this year to say Ebonyi State is the 4th poorest state in Nigeria.
That statistic is very wrong. The way they conducted it is very wrong. They base it on the spending capacity of people. You don't expect, the spending capacity of Lagos to be the same thing with the spending capacity of Ebonyi State. So it's totally wrong. If you want to assess, the progress made, you have to have a baseline. There was no baseline. So you have to find out about the activities. Is the spending capacity, with the denominator as that which you get, as a state, that is important. You cannot compare the standard of living in Ebonyi State to the standard of living in Lagos. So this is absolutely very wrong.
I'm very sure you must have heard and seen criticisms about the APC government at the center, and many Nigerians about their perceived, about the government's approach and their perception about the approach of government on issues of rights of citizens. Some of the critics who have said that the government is intolerant.
I don't speak for APC, I speak for my government. And it's my position that, governors should speak for their government, while the political parties should speak for the parties and the governors. So I'm not the national chairman of APC, so I won't speak for that. But if you ask me any question about my state, I should be able to defend my state. That is the limit of my calling.
Yeah, but the reason I'm asking that question is the moral justification, which some people, your critics, have raised for you moving from the PDP to the APC. And at the moment when people, some critics of this government have raised this issue, and that's why I'm asking you.
You don't join me to the issues of the public. You join me to the issues of my conviction and the issues of my state. So I've seen that even in Nigeria, politics is not based on morality. And that's why some of us are not politicians. We rather, business, men that are, creating wealth and but have adventure by the reason of God's calling, into politics. So if politics is based on morality, then issues would have been much, much, much approached, in a more dignified, forms in Nigeria. Tell me who is in APC now that was not in PDP, apart from Mr. President and my brother, the Minister of Science and Technology, and very few others. So it's still the same party, it's still the same people, but the important thing is, your convictions and then your conscience. That is important thing.
So you invariably, Governor, you're saying that the APC and the PDP may not be any different in terms of ideology and political standing.
In terms of movement, I've not studied the manifesto of APC. Remember, I'm just a brand new, child, and I should be pampered, very well, in this APC. So I have to learn how to walk, I have to learn how to run before I can answer these your questions about the ideologies of APC. But if you ask me the ideologies of Mr. President, I will tell you that it means well for Nigeria.
Governor Umahi, as we end the conversation, so you are not hoping, or you do not have the ambition of becoming president in 2023. So we want to get that clear.
Shehu, my future is in the hand of God. I've told God I want to leave politics in 2023. And because my life is owned by him, and because I need his permission to take on anything that is called future, this future belongs to God. So this is my own decision. By God's decision, we take precedence over my decision.
Well, that's been in our conversation with Governor David Umahi. And that's our show for today, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye-bye.